When women describe loneliness, society hears melancholic song and tender emotions. But when men describe it, society often registers it as a malfunction. As a result, we see a kind of social silence that men learn from early age, but this silence grows teeth. Psychologists call this phenomenon emotional undernourishment, a hunger that men rarely admit because the cultural script offers them only two roles: the stoic or the failure. Ancient Greek warriors wept freely in their epics, but only over fallen brothers, not over their own despair. Samurai trained to die without fear, yet often wrote love poems in secret, knowing the world preferred their steel to their softness. Even Stoic philosophers, those champions of emotional discipline, wrote letters dripping with longing for friendship. The evidence sits everywhere. Men across eras carry emotional worlds that rarely reach daylight. Sarcasm becomes an unofficial male love language. It functions as emotional encryption. Humor protects vulnerability the way varnish protects wood. A man cracks a joke about his loneliness before anyone else can point to it. Behavioral psychologists call this defensive signaling, the art of using laughter as armor. He tosses a witty one-liner about living like a hermit, but he says it with that microsecond pause, the tiny comma of truth revealing the joke's origin point. Men often maintain activity friendships, like gym buddies, gaming friends, or work acquaintances. But few maintain soul friendships, the ones stitched with truth rather than shared hobbies. A man may know another guy's favorite whiskey and preferred workout split without knowing a single fear living inside him. The world keeps telling men they're socially simple creatures, as if they were emotionally upgraded furniture. Yet these same simple creatures quietly juggle attachment hunger, performance anxiety, identity confusion, and chronic emotional suppression. Psychologists give these things elegant names, but in practice they feel more like, I don't know how to say what I feel without sounding like an idiot, so I won't. There is certain emotional minimalism in men who speak in condensed emotional Morse code. 1 beep for stress, 2 beeps for heartbreak, 3 for existential dread. Jokes aside, but even Beethoven, while rewriting the idea of human passion in music, struggled to articulate basic affection to people he loved. History shows men who changed the world while feeling completely unaccompanied inside their own minds. The psychology behind this is painfully simple. Boys are often taught instrumental emotions over expressive emotions. You express feelings only if they accomplish something: protecting someone, solving a conflict, proving loyalty. Expressive emotions, the ones that simply admit the state of your soul, feel useless, indulgent, even shameful. And so the adult man becomes fluent in emotions with utility, while starving in emotions with humanity. Male loneliness becomes tragicomic once women enter the scene. Men are told that women are the cure for their sadness, their Wi-Fi router that will finally connect them to humanity. So instead of building friendships, they build this wild expectation. One woman will solve everything. Emotional outsourcing at its finest. He meets her. She laughs at his joke once. Suddenly she becomes his therapist, best friend, emotional nurse, cheerleader, and childhood trauma exorcist. And if she leaves, he realizes he doesn't actually have a social support system. Back to square one. Society even tells men romance is the only legitimate source of closeness. A girlfriend is like an emotional subscription service, premium tier, all access. Meanwhile, friendships are the free version with ads and no feelings allowed. Women, on the other hand, form emotional ecosystems. Friend groups, group chats, sisterhoods that operate like NASA-level support networks. Men look at that and go, wow, must be nice. Anyway, I told my girlfriend once that I was sad in 2019, so I think I'm good. Bad news is, women tend to leave emotionally starving men because he won't let them help. He refuses vulnerability to protect his masculinity, which results in him becoming alone and more masculine than ever in the worst possible way. A self-fulfilling prophecy, but without the fun Greek tragedy aesthetics. Literature has always exposed this male tendency toward noble emotional catastrophe. Even Shakespeare gave Hamlet an entire cast of ghosts rather than the one friend who could have asked, "Dude, are you okay?" The psychological machinery beneath all this is straightforward. Men learn early that feelings create vulnerability, and vulnerability creates a risk. So they build a personality that looks like strength but feels like a locked room. They offer competence instead of closeness, advice instead of intimacy, humor instead of confession. Their emotional range narrows into a comfortable survival kit. We think of male loneliness as a void, but it's a crowded room of unspoken needs, half-swallowed sentences, and expertly hidden tenderness. Psychologists call this the solitary burden pattern, but in real life it looks more like a man scrolling through his phone at 2 a.m., hoping someone telepathically senses that he is available for conversation, all while maintaining a public reputation for being gloriously unbothered. This is the same man who performs emotional acrobatics at work, gives strategic, compassionate advice to friends. And when a man finally notices this, when he realizes he is not emotionally defective, but emotionally trained, something shifts. The script loosens. Psychological walls that once felt permanent soften into something more like curtains. And behind them stands a person who always craved the same thing everyone else does: a witness. When these men actually connect and stumble into a moment of genuine relational warmth, they melt in the most dramatic fashion imaginable. Suddenly their face softens, the voice shifts, the shoulders unclench. It's as if the soul pauses to say, finally, oxygen. Their loneliness dissolves for a moment, revealing a person who has been waiting, patiently, awkwardly, heroically, for someone who speaks the language they've been whispering inside. Male loneliness is an emotional abundance trapped in a container that was never designed to hold it. And when that container finally cracks, whether through friendship, love, therapy, or sheer exhaustion, the man feels alive. Why do people have to be this lonely? What's the point of it all? Millions of people in this world, all of them yearning, looking to others to satisfy them, yet isolating themselves. Why? Was the earth put here just to nourish human loneliness? Maybe everybody in the whole damn world is scared of each other. Maybe all great and precious things are lonely. Anyway, loneliness is the human condition. Cultivate it. The way it tunnels into you allows your soul room to grow. Never expect to outgrow loneliness. Never hope to find people who will understand you, someone to fill that space. An intelligent, sensitive person is the exception, the very great exception. If you expect to find people who will understand you, you will grow murderous with disappointment. The best you'll ever do is to understand yourself. Know what it is that you want, and not let the cattle stand in your way.